Good evening, all. Thank you for giving this opportunity to connect with the MediaKonnect 21, International Virtual Media Conference on Media Culture and Society by Navrachna University. Myself, Dr. Sagarika Das. Right now, I'm at the Shri Guru Ram Rai University, Dehradun, Uttarakhand, in the Department of Mass Communication as Associate Professor. Today, my topic of presentation is Regional Language Content Can Reach Media Participation of Women in India. So when we talk about the regional content, we can see there is a flood of regional content around us. In every media, be it the mainstream media, the digital media, the social media, everywhere we can see there is a flood, there is an increase of regional content. So this paper will try to explore if this regional content is just a marketing strategy to just add to the audience and gain the users and for the TRP and for the monetary benefits, or is just it's going to help the gender, women, and it is going to increasing their participation and enhancing their perception on media, and it's going to more and women drawn to the media participation. So this paper will look into this. As we see, the more and more people are embracing this regional content. More and more they are just consuming this because they feel that confidence to communicate in a better, in an effective way in their own language. Firstly, and then they feel that it's enhancing a both way. They are better to give their feedback at the regional language, at their own language, their native language, in compared to the other language. So the women are just going to be helped from this regional language content rise if if the regional content language is going to be a part of every media here and now. Okay, so as we all know that our mainstream media has been always male dominated, and the women has always been objectified and stereotyped. This, I think, the regional rise in regional content will enhance their personality. Will more and more women will be decision maker. They will be a part of this media content in future because they will create this media when the language will be in in their preference. They will have a decision. They will have their own choice of language. They will come more and more in media. They can speak and they can come out. They can give their opinions. They can they can make their videos. They can share their videos. They can write blogs, everything, because they will feel comfortable in that language to express themselves. If we go through the data, we can see 9 out of 10 new smartphone users look for regional language content, and that number is higher of women. Women are more into the smartphone users. Women want more regional content to be included in the mobile phone, like the increase in apps, the use of language in the apps, and the preference language with their regional language. And basically, the regional language content can also help in eliminating the existing gender disparity between the men and women in India. Because as we go through the internet, India Internet Report 19, we can see the breakup between the users of internet in the male and the rural areas. So we can say there is a huge difference between the male and the female users. So with increasing the regional content, obviously the female internet users is going to rise in the future, which will enhance the media participation. So the objective of my study is to understand the women's views on rise in regional language content and to study if women participation will increase with rise in regional language content. So for the methodology, I have taken 200 women respondents, and I have divided these age groups from 20 to one group from 20 to 40, and the other is 40 to 60. So I have distributed 100 questionnaire to the first group to 20 to 40, the women that belongs to the 20 to 40 age, and the other group 100 questions to the 40 to 60 age groups. And basically, I have taken this question through a Google form. And area of study I have taken Bhubaneswar because for a few reasons. Basically, I belong to Bhubaneswar, and I have witnessed from a year to I have witnessed this trend that most of the family members of mine, they have shifted to the regional content. They are no more saying this. They are not so dependent on the Hindi contents because 3-4 years before they were very much into the Hindi content. We were to discuss that about the serials, about the movies, but now they say we are watching this regional content, we are no more into the Hindi content. So I just feel there is a shift in the use of the regional content. And the TV channels and the FM, many has added in the Odisha right now. And secondly, that's also my personal feeling that when I'm a few years, 1 year 2 year before, my mother used to say, right now give something in Odia, yeah, so that I can circulate to my friends and the relatives. I can wish them in the festivals. But now I can see she has started change. She can now change her preference language in the mobile, and she is sharing it to everyone. She is not dependent on us. So that's, I see regional language content has helped her to express her better. She's writing better wishes. She's writing better quotes in that and forwarding to everyone. So that is for the reason I have took Bhubaneswar as my study area. And if you see the print media, if you talk about the print media, as we say, print media has already just adapted to the local content to survival. For its survival, it has taken the local content. So we have a bilingual vernacular newspaper. There's a flood of vernacular newspaper in the print media. We have the magazines and we have the website. The print media has adapted to the regional language content much before because of its survival. And we can see many the women representation of women in the newspaper magazines has also increased. Same way we go we if we see the television, we can see 2 3 developments in the television has also helped the growth of the regional content, like the consumption, the new tariff order NTO, that is 2019. It gave the consumer to choose our TV channels. We are not paying for those channels which we are not seeing. We're paying for only those channels, bouquet of channels that we were watching. So people have started making their own bouquet. So they just started making the original content bouquet, because then they were not forced to see every channel, every Hindi channel, English channel that were prescribed. They were given the choice. So that has the new tariff order NTO in 2019 that was implemented, that helped a lot to in the hike of the regional language content and the going more for the regional language content for the people. Simply, we can see that there is a Amit's cluster head regional Hindi speaking market, GL. He has given in an interview that there has been a gradual move from traditional and rooted content to relatively more contemporary content based in urban, semi-urban settings with strong female protagonists. So the television channels are also just reshaping the stereotyping image of women with a strong female protagonist through the televisions. So if we go through the same, if you go through the digital media platform, we can see that the OTT platform, many women-centric series has just introduced themselves to us. Be it the Shri, Arya, Bulbul, Flesh, Girl, foremost, Kafir, Puspavali, like many OTT series we are now witnessing. Those characters were not possible to telecast in the mainstream media because of the censorship, or they were strong narratives which are not allowed, or because of the language. But OTT was given. OTT has no such obligations or no such censorship, so it has still the freedom. So OTT is using a heartfelt narrative, strong emotions, struggle with life and patriarchy, being independent, vocal, fight to like the real, the changing woman that has been possible to portray through the OTT platform. So we can see that the consumption of this has also increased. That with the Marathi, Malayalam, Odia, Bengali, Telugu, Tamil, Kannada, Gujarati, Punjabi, all regional content has increased now. And this survey table I have taken, this survey table I have put few questions with the respondent, just to know while they communicate which language they feel more appropriate, they feel more happier, and if they're given a choice, which language will be preferred by them. So when I went through the findings after the respondent analysis were done, it was seen that of the various questions, it was seen that the women of both the groups, be it the 20 to 40 years or the 40 to 60 years, they all love to communicate with in their regional language. Even the majority of women, when we asked when which language they feel happier to communicate, so they basically 40 to 60 years they went for their local language, regional language, or the native language. Similarly, when we ask the women, but the like they feel more connected to the sender in which language, they again the regional language was the priority of the audiences. They feel the audiences is strong, the audiences build a strong connection with the sender when the regional content is exchanged between the sender and the receiver. Similarly, the majority of the women from the age group 45% to 60, 50, 52%, both the age group, they feel that they can read the complete content information given to them in their native language or regional language, as they are very versed with more proficiently without any confusion. They can read the information. Even during the pandemic, they watch the local news and the local language content more because they were trustable as per them. And when they were asked which language they prefer for the serials movie, again the majority of women from the 40 to 50 went for the content in the regional language. During the pandemic, we have seen that the Ramayana, Mahabharat, many of the programs were just changed into the regional language content. Again, they were high on the TRP. They left all the other things behind. The 80s Mahabharatan serial, when they're dubbed in the local language, they're also having the higher TRP. So these women were more, they more want the regional language. They are very much happy with the dubbed language also, dubbed content also, and subtitles also. But everything they want to be dubbed, and the subtitles they want in their regional language, because they think the regional language, with the regional language, they are getting more connected, they are feeling more connected. Similarly, when they're asked about the advertisement, so they say they recall a brand and understand it better if the advertisement is customized in their own regional language. Similarly, OTT platform, though for the 20 to 40 years of the age group, they still prefer Hindi content, but because they think there is unavailable of many content in the regional language. There is not much content in the regional language, so they are preferring. If the regional content will rise in the OTT platform, that means in ODI language, they will definitely going to shift. Slowly, they are going to shift from the. I feel they are going to shift from this language to the regional language. Again, when we ask the same respondent about they feel the reality based program or the reality program like Kaun Banega Karodpati, they want such type of programs, Kaun Banega Karodpati. They even want Big Boss in Odia also. They want to watch those programs in their regional language. So the women also prefer for the educational videos. They are preferring, no doubt they are preferring the English language, for because they think English is vital for the future growth of their. But still, they think if anything is available in the regional language, obviously they are going for it. So another, when they're asked which language they use for the language setting for the messaging people through their Android phone, to say they feel like I told my mother about my mother. So the same feel the 60 to the 40 to 60 age groups are very much happy to communicate with others so they are changing the preference of their mobile. Because why? Because they think it gives them a freedom so that they can type and what they think they can talk. They can say, they can share their language poetry and the literary works that has been written in their language. So again, when the respondent of the age groups were asked, both the age group were asked what they will prefer for the online stories, rhymes for their grandchildren in the regional language. So after English, the second preference was of regional language, though the 40 to 60 still prefer the regional language content because they feel it builds the connection of the children with the regional language. And because of the nuclear families, the children are going far away from their roots, the cultural roots. So they think regional language will connect them again better, in a better way. The emotional, when they're asked what they feel when whichever they feel more connected or emotionally they feel connected, the three language contents. So most of those from the 20 to 40 though feel connected to the contents in the Hindi, but the 40 to 60 group still find their most connection with the regional language content. They feel more emotional with those things. And about the authenticity, when they're asked, that is more important thing. And for important thing, the people think they can distinguish between the real news and a fake news in a regional content because of the proximity that is more close to it. So they know, so they knew very well what is the real news and what is the fake news. But it is not possible for them in the English media or the Hindi media, that is the flooding, that is all over the social media. So regional content will definitely help them to differentiate this real news and fake news. They will help them to distinguish. So basically, in the conclusion, I have just got that the quantity of regional content is regional language is much less in Odia language. That's why the 20 to 40 groups of the 30 to 40 groups are going for the Hindi content. Okay, if in our future the content will rise in the Odia language, that will definitely shift in the 20 to 40 groups also, age group also. And they basically the regional language giving them strength, is giving them shape and thoughts to their communication. It is better understood by them. It is also relation. It is also building a relation between the sender and the receiver of the quantity of digital content in regional language is also helping them to find new words and the learning process, helping in the learning process of the kid through the regional rhymes. It also better understanding also help them to learn and grasp the facts with better understanding when the content is in the regional language. And they also feel a positive emotions like satisfaction, pride, happiness, and more concentration watching contents in their own language. And most important, higher trust in regional media is a big factor the rise in regional content can give them. So with the rise in the regional content, the women participation will definitely increase because it will ultimately bring them at par with the male in consumption in different media. It will not only improve the representation of women in India, but will also improve the portrayal of feminism in India. The more and more women will come in the media, they will participate, they will be the decision maker, they will have their perception, they will build their perceptions with the regional language content growth. Thank you.